Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. In any situation that there is a problem, right, a situation, an issue, you discuss it in order to solve it. You don't just discuss it and, hey, I let you know that. Okay, in order to do what? If it just stops there, why don't you just keep your mouth shut? So, in this case, we have the Russians who really cannot do much about the Nord Stream 1, Nord Stream 2, but they're talking. By talking, at least they keep the awareness of some terrorist states, possibly, on this planet that pretend they're angels. So, as you probably know, a year ago, yesterday, the Nord Stream pipelines 1 and 2 underneath the Baltic states were blown up by we don't know yet whom. Now the Russians come out and say again that it's a de facto US and UK attack. They conducted this attack. Well, I have here an article from Sputnik, and we'll see how the Russians frame it, and more importantly, what are they gonna do about it, if anything. So let's, sometimes it's good just to keep the flame going, and you're gonna act later or gonna use the flame. Otherwise, just look at, for instance, I urge you to look, let's say, in Yahoo or Google or wherever you want in the Western press, and try to find out any discussion about the Nord Stream 1, Nord Stream 2 pipelines. Explosion, sabotage, terrorist attack, however you want to name it. You will not find. Maybe you're going to find one, but I don't think you're going to find. Why? Because I've been looking and I don't find it. Maybe you find it. Why is that? There was a very important and I would say terrible terrorist attack, sabotage done that's international, not, it's a local thing. And these guys are keeping their mouth shut. That tells me that they don't want to tell us who did it, but we're not idiots. And I think we have a gut feeling that it was Al Capone with some weasel states, vassal states that helped them. And right now they try to camouflage it, they try to bury it, and nothing happened here. Remember, if that would have happened to the United States of America, by now we would have had about 5 countries again delivered freedom and democracy a la Iraq style. So let's go and see this little article here. Let's visit it. Coming from Sputnik, and it says that terrorist attack on Nord Stream de facto organized by US and UK, Kremlin. This is 2 minutes ago, 2 hours ago, on the 27th of September 2023. De facto is actually in actuality. It's not legally proven or legally condemned or convicted, but as a matter of fact, these guys claim they did it. Well, what's going to happen next? Nothing. They tried the United Nations, but nothing's going to happen there. They're going to be smacked. Not the Russians, but the people who would try to join the attempt to see what happened. The terrorist attack on the Nord Stream pipelines was somehow organized by the United States and the United Kingdom, Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov said on Wednesday. Somehow, so they don't know how. I don't know either, but we can't allow ourselves to be idiots. I mean, if I don't know that something occurred somewhere, I can also, based on my experience and my knowledge, kind of see the prime suspect. Not necessarily the guilty one, not proven yet, so he's innocent. But you can't be an idiot not to figure out who's who, what's what. With probabilities. Big probabilities. On Tuesday, Pulitzer Prize-winning U.S. investigative journalist Seymour Hersh published a report, said that the U.S. involved in the blowing up of the Nord Stream pipelines left no traces. No significant information about the mission was entered into any computer in the United States. Well, how do you know? Did you verify all the computers? I don't like this kind of things, but anyway. It is not so much, I'm quoting, important who typed on what mechanical typewriters. It is important that de facto such a terrorist attack against critical energy infrastructure, which belongs to an international joint venture, was somehow organized by the United States, the United Kingdom, of course. Now, I disagree with this kind of thing. I mean, you can say, of course, it was organized, but I have no evidence. Why don't you just say, well, all the evidence we have, or the logical evidence we have, points mainly to Al Capone, and then to others, like United Kingdom, countries that are capable of doing this. I'm not talking about Ukraine. Ukraine was incapable of doing that. And they are somehow involved in this terrorist attack, Peskov told a briefing. So a British newspaper reported on Tuesday, citing findings by Norway's Norsar seismic data center, that there were 4 blasts on the Nord Stream pipelines and not 2, as it was previously believed. I think so, and there were some of them were not successful. One explosion occurred southeast of the Danish island of Bornholm, and the other 3 occurred northeast of the island, the report said. The seismology center also does not rule out the possibility that there could have been more explosions. The Nord Stream pipelines, built to deliver gas under the Baltic Sea from Russia to the European Union, were hit by explosions. They were not hit by explosions. Exploded because someone put explosive. Were hit by explosions. Yeah, I was hit by AIDS. Really? Just hit me, just came and hit me. Please. Anyway, the pipeline's operator, Nord Stream AG, said that the damage was unprecedented and it was impossible to estimate the time frame for repairing them. Denmark, Germany, and Norway have left Russia out of their investigations into the attacks, prompting Moscow to launch its own investigation with no access to the pipelines or something. Russia designated the attacks as international terrorism. No official results of the investigation have yet been announced, but Hirsch published a report on February saying the explosions were organized by the US government with the support of the authorities in Norway. Washington has denied any involvement in the attack, and they brought forth another stupid narrative which doesn't, I mean, if you're tired, you will subscribe to that one. Yes, I said it. In addition to Kremlin spokesman commented on the words of former Secretary of State Clinton on the expansion of NATO address on Russian President Vladimir Putin, saying that it is an attempt to substitute concepts. Earlier, well, you see, I don't they came with the other, there were 2 actually, 2 other narratives. The Americans immediately came, I think after a week or 2, after Seymour Hersh came and said, well, it was you guys with the Norwegians and blah, blah, blah. The Americans came with their idiotic narrative that there were a little yacht with, I think, 6 men and a woman, or 5 men and a woman. I think it was 6 and 1, poor woman. And they supposedly went over there with scuba diving, boo, 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 and they planted tons of, how do you call it, explosives on those pipelines, and then they just disappeared. I mean, that's such a Hollywood movie idiocracy, but hey, a lot of people like them, so they will believe this story. And the other one was like the Ukrainians did it, but we don't know how about the Ukrainians. And they say, well, it was not the Ukrainians, we're not the Americans. Well, if it was not, you must know who those guys are, or you just say it was not us. What do you mean? Anyway, that's why I said it's idiotic, because if you look at the same with the collapse of the World Trade Center towers. Physics will not alter its laws. The laws of nature will not be altered because you have an agenda and you try to push a narrative. The things will still come like this. Those things will not collapse just like that, like in a, there's certain things, sound, visual, that, the laws of nature would not change because the guys with the September 11 Commission said they were just happen and just collapsed, the beams melted, and therefore it collapsed just straight like a detonation. Yeah. Okay, I'm not convinced with what these guys tell me. First, because they say it, and the second, what they said is garbage. Just to look, just verify at what temperature steel melts, my friends. And you're going to find out steel will not melt in in a regular environment. So if it's a fire outside and it burns, you need to put a lot of air in it to create a certain kind of temperature in order for steel to melt. Start from that. There was one of the acts. Oh, the beams melted because if it was so much heat. Heat generated by what? By burning offices? Are you kidding me? I mean, how tired can you be just to, yeah, it was because we have it. It's highly inflammable. Yeah, it's highly inflammable, but without a lot of, the wind blows, and the wind blows up there is so strong that it created the proper temperature to melt the beams. Not the beams, the beams. Please, my friends. And look at how do you call it? Detonations, organized, how do you call them, detonations, and see how they collapse versus something else. I mean, it was really, but anyway, let's move back to this way. The government should be trusted as I trust an astrologist or someone with the weather. Yeah, okay. Thank you very much. So here it is. They have no evidence that those guys did it, but and probably they're gonna leave it this way. The investigations, the Danish and the Swede will probably not find anything ever, unless, I don't know, the United States disappears overnight and they're free to say the truth. And which could be not the United States, could be, oh, it was not the United States, it was, I don't know, Kiev or something. Even though, as I said, the Ukrainians did not have the technology, the submarine and whatever. And it was not people with scuba diving over there like that, all right, with a backpack of explosives. Okay, maybe they were. Who the hell knows? We will find out. Never. But the Russians, what are they going to do about it? Talk? Yeah. What can they do? Blow up one of the United States? Well, if things go, blow something that the United States is very interested in, or whatever, one of their assets, well, that could be a payback. That's all you can do. But you can't really do it without evidence, right? Unless you say, you know what are you going to do now? I know you did it. I don't know how, but you did it. I can't prove, but I know you did it. And the other guy is going to say, what, I'm going to attack you? Well, if you started, I'm going to kick you back. And besides, it was the Biden administration, and it was Newland and Biden saying that Nord Stream pipeline is going to be up. And it was. So it's very strange. Just look at it as a regular crime investigation. How it's conducted, for instance. If someone says it's going to harm you and then or harm someone else, and that someone else is harmed, where do you go first? I mean, even if you can't prove it, the person who claimed or threatened is the prime suspect, besides your close family members, that usually are the ones. But, you know, someone said, I'm going to come and fuck you up, and then you get fucked up, and you say, oh, come on. I mean, don't lower your IQ because these guys are lying to us, okay? Don't lower it. Skepticism is the mother of knowledge. But wait, patience is still a value. So we have to wait a little bit. And a virtue, I'm sorry. And a value. Wait. We're going to wait. How long? I don't know. But as I said, this would not change my assessment or, you know, gut feeling that it is Al Capone, by far the prime suspect of all this, with the Brits. So we'll find out. As I said, never. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.